Today we're going to learn how to do a splash water effect. This splash water effect can be applied to pretty much anything like leaves or body parts, faces, anything you want. You can be as creative as you want. We're going to start with a picture I just took. This is just a quick picture to show you what to do. Basically, we used a bounce lighting on the ceiling, bounce lighting on the bed to light this up. And what we're going to do is cut my hand out. And a quick, easy way of doing that is to go over here and click on the quick selection tool. Now this is a little different than the other tool, which is a magic wand tool. Usually you go around the edges. This you go on the inside. Let's see how this works. Okay, and that worked pretty good. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to bring the boundaries in a little bit, and we'll show you why. Now what we want to do is contract the outline here so that when we do feather it slightly, we're not going to get any of the edge. In order to do that, we just go into Edit. I'm sorry, not Edit, but Select, Modify, and Contract. We're going to contract it just 2 pixels. Say OK. You see how that brought it in just slightly. The next thing we're going to do is select, modify, and feather, and we're going to feather it 2 pixels. Now what that does, it's going to assure you that you're going to have a nice smooth edge and it's not going to be pixelated at all, and it'll look just great. We're going to double click on the background layer, and we're just going to say OK, and that will allow us to cut and do anything we want to this layer. So right now I'm going to do a Control C, which is a copy, and a Control V, which is a paste. Now what that did was it copied it, and then it pasted another layer, which is this layer right here. And now we're going to make a new file, and then we're going to bring this into the new file. So what we're going to do now is a File, New, and over here on the resolution we're going to make it 200. And we're going to change pixels to inches so I know what the size is. And the height is going to be 20 inches. And the width will be 16. And the reason we do that, that'll give you a height of 4,000 pixels and a width of 3,200 pixels, and that'll be more than enough to make a 16 by 20. If you want a bigger picture, which I generally never do, you just add some more inches to your file. So we're going to say Create. Since our lemon is light, I'd like to add a little color to the background. And again, this is optional. You can make any color you want. You can make it black. You can make it white. I'm going to go kind of in the bluish area. And we do this by clicking on this little icon here. Well, actually, we're going to go into the bucket command and click on that. And this is the color that we're going to be ending up with. So I don't want it too gaudy. I want it kind of muted. Something in the order of that. Maybe a little, Yeah, like that. Yeah, like that. And you can play around with that any way you want. And we say OK. And then we go to the bucket. And we're going to change this to a regular layer. And we go in, and there you have a nice little blue file, starting file. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go to the hand. Let's bring that down a little. And we're just going to grab it and bring it into our new file. Okay. And now we'll just modify this a little bit. Bring this over here like that. And make it a little larger and fit it into our file. Be sure to press your Shift key in order to keep the aspect ratio. And I think that's just about right. We're now going to open up a water file. And I have a selection of water files, and I'm going to be giving you a link to the water files if you care to use them. It'll save you a little hassle. And open. And let's see. I think I'm going to go with, let's see, Splash 4. Yeah, that's good. Okay, now what we're going to do next is bring this file into our design. Now this, I have already separated it, and I can simply take this layer and bring it in. So what I'm going to do, bring this down a little, that, move, grab it, and just bring it right in. And we're all done with this one. Okay, and now we can go ahead and we'll kind of play with it. Now that was just a regular move command. Next thing we're going to play around with is the what is it? Puppy warp, which is kind of a fun thing. I don't know if you've ever tried it, but it's a lot of fun. Let's see, that's on edit. And see where it says puppy warp? It's kind of an interesting thing. Now the way this kind of works is you put a pin and a pin, and then you can warp it like this. And maybe you do this, maybe this, and then maybe you bring this one in a little, and maybe this one out a little. If I can get it. There we go. And you just play around with it. And the reason I want to do that, I want to get the feeling that the water is coming out of this lemon. So we're done. We say, I usually do that. Go to my move and just say apply. So now we get kind of an interesting thing going on over here. And now we're going to put a, what do they call these things here? One of these things. You know what I mean? That way there we can erase and bring it back. We're going to do the same thing to this. And it's a layer mask. Okay, there we go. I should know that stuff, right? Okay, and that's going to give you a little more flexibility. So let's play around with this. Let's do a little erasing. So I'm going to go to my eraser tool, and I'm going to bring that down a little bit. And I do that with my comma keys, or bracket keys. And that's about right. And I'm going to do the 100 and 100 just so I can get that right about like that. Just get that cleaned up a little bit. Yeah. And I kind of like that. And then we're going to go to our lemon. And I'm going to kind of like, I'd like to do the puppy thing to the lemon too. I want to get a little extra warping going on down here. Okay, so we go edit, puppy warp, and again I'm going to put a pin here, a pin here, and let's warp that sucker right about like that. Maybe a little bit here, maybe here. Yeah. And maybe we bring this down a little more. Kind of like that. Okay, and then maybe over here, this some out. And you can play all you want with this. And I'm going to say OK. And then we're going to erase some of this right here because it was kind of funky. So now we're going to go in and erase some of this lemon, just to make it look a little like it's really liquefying. And we're going to move the water to about here, kind of like that. And we'll probably spread that out a little bit like that. Good. And now we're going to erase a little bit on the water, just to blend that in a little bit. Where's my eraser? Here we see. And let's see what we're going to do here. Yeah, just kind of like that. Yeah. Okay, so now it kind of looks like this is coming out, but of course it's water, so we don't want it to look like water. We want it to look like some lemon juice. So the way we do that, we're going to go into our image adjustments, and it's going to be hue and saturation. And you want to colorize it. And the bar on the bottom here is what the color is actually going to look like. So in order to do that, we get the hue, and we want to bring it to the yellow right about there, I would say. Saturation, we want to make it hot. And we can play with the lightness and darkness. Like that's too light. And you just kind of bring it in so that it looks like lemon juice. Okay, I think that's about right. Say okay. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to make this just a little smaller. And I just hit my key there to get it. And we want it eraser and that right in here. Yeah. just blend that in a little bit. It looks like we have some rush of lemon juice coming out of it, and that looks pretty good. And you can add another layer if you like for effect. Just put that right on top. Okay, and I'm going to make this a black layer, and because I want to put a little shadow for effect, and we're going to put that right on top of that. And I'm using the paint bucket right here, and we'll just splash that right in. And let's bring that down so there's a little bit of an opacity to it, about like that or so. And the reason I'm doing that is just to give a little more effect to the hand. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to erase some of that light. And another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this new layer down below the splash. It'll go. And the reason for that is we want the splash on the outside of the shadow. And I think that shadow is a little harsh, so I'm going to tone that down a little bit because we don't want to overdo it. Just gives you just a little feeling of your eye coming to the main subject here, just a little bit. And that's it. Hope you have fun with it. And also look on your email for the water splash files that you can use if you like. And have fun with it.